Contact with Mark Gasol, no whistle, and watch Popovich. He is stunned. Play continues. It's Kyle Kuzma, Dennis Schroeder, couple of easy points. Meanwhile, Pop is livid. No call on the sidelines, and he's awarded with an ejection. Hammond said Pop pointed at her and said, "You got him." And that is when she became the first woman to act as a head coach in a regular season NBA game. History on the sidelines for the Spurs.
It's a big deal. It's a substantial moment. I've been a part of this organization. I got traded here in 2007. So I've been in San Antonio, part of the Spurs and sports organization with the Stars and everything for, 13 years. So I have a lot of time invested, and they have a lot of time invested in me and building me and getting me better. Honestly, in the moment, I was just trying to win the game. I say this a lot, but I try not to think about the huge picture and the huge aspect of it because it can get overwhelming.
Obviously, what she did as a player, first of all, we all know that. And so in her mind, I was able to transfer over to our league. And she's been great ever since she got in. It's a beautiful thing just to hear her barking out calls, barking out sets, and she's very passionate about the game. So, congrats to her and congrats to our league.
You can say a lot about 2020, but it's been a good year for women to make history in sports. In July, Alyssa Nacken became the first woman to coach on field during a Major League Baseball game when she took over as the Giants' first base coach. Then the Miami Marlins hired Kim Ng as their new general manager after 9 years as senior vice president of baseball operations for Major League Baseball. She is now the first female GM in baseball history. Sarah Fuller played in and then scored in Power 5 football game. No woman had ever done that before. Fuller knocked in a couple of extra points for Vanderbilt when they played Tennessee. And now there's Hammond, the first woman to act as a head coach during a regular season NBA game. Hammond has spent the last 7 years on that Spurs coaching staff. It did not have a happy ending. This game did not. Back to the actual game. It's the Lakers and the Spurs. And it was LeBron's 36th birthday. He scored at least 10 points in 999 straight games. Literally no one in NBA history has hit 1,000. And it's not going to take him long to get to that number. A little two-handed, Jim. We remind you, he's 36. He's played in the NBA for 18 seasons. He's aging in reverse. He had 4 points in the first half and now up to 9 in the second quarter. Make that his 1,000th straight game, scoring at least 10 points. He said, look, I just go out there every night and try to be the best every time I'm on the floor. What we have here is a tough little run from Montrezl Harrell. Tries to dunk it, but Drew Eubanks is there for the block, and then DeMar DeRozan dunking over Harrell. DeRozan had a solid game for the Spurs, 23 points. We won't talk about Harrell. 5 seconds left in the half. LeBron through 1, 2, 3 Spurs. Anyone else want to get in there? There's the foul. Somehow he makes the shot. He had 17 points in the first half. The Lakers led by 10 at the break. Wesley Matthews has been slumping mightily. 0 for 8 from 3 going into this game. Perfect Wednesday, 6 for 6, 18 points off the bench. LeBron finished with 26 on his 36th birthday. The Lakers hand the Spurs their second straight loss, aid Becky Hammon's coaching debut, 121-107 the final.
All right, let's get to their counterparts in the NBA Finals. Just book it, right? It's the Nets taking on Trae Young and the Hawks, and Trae's been on one to start the season. More on him in a moment. He'd go for 28. They're working on Kyrie Irving, who was on the struggle bus to start the game. 1 of 10 from the floor for Kyrie. More on that as well on the way. It's Trae Young to John Collins. 30 and 10 for Collins for the 10th time in his young career. And then Kevin Durant, we haven't seen him yet. We're about to correct that, to Jarrett Allen. 8 times for KD, just 2 shy of a triple-double. 15 points for Allen. Let's go fourth quarter. Nets down 2, and here comes KD pulling up and knocking down a triple. His first 30-point game in a Nets uniform. Durant's trying to motivate Kyrie. We told you he struggled. That continued through 3 quarters, just 8 points. But then in the fourth quarter, the man came alive. Look at the move there. I mean, one of, if not the sickest handles in the NBA. And just ask Collins, who ends up with a view from his back porch there. Nets back up 4. And here comes Kyrie from deep. We'll just knock that down. Yeah, that works. Nets up 5. Durant said, the good thing about us, though, even though we didn't shoot the ball well, we were still only down 1 at halftime. Trae Young, 130 points through 4 games. It's a a new Hawks franchise mark. And then Kyrie pulling up jumper. Yeah, 21 in the second half for him. He finished with 25. Hawks, though, still had a chance. Look at these numbers. It's 139, 136 in regulation. But Bogdanovich, Allen rebound. Kyrie to Durant. Those two combined to score the Nets' final 20 points in this game. Durant would finish with 33. 145 to 141 is your final. Steve Nash said after the game, quote, "Yeah, I definitely need a beer." Close quote. So these two cold through the first three quarters, shooting 32% from the field, just 1 of 11 from deep. But shooters shoot. And in the final frame, these two combined for better than 33 points. Okay, they combined for 33 points on 66% from the field. They each had better than 15 in the fourth quarter. Second pair of teammates in the last 25 years to do that.
A lot of points in that one, and a lot of points in the Cotton Bowl, at least for the Sooners. It's number 7 Florida taking on number 6 Oklahoma, and everything you know about Florida this season, just forget about it. Spencer Rattler in Oklahoma got the ball first. They've been outscoring opponents 134-17 in the first quarter this season. Why stop now? Rattler, Marvin Mims, 27-yard touchdown, and Oklahoma jumped out to a 7-0 lead early. It led to this, Florida with the ball, and that's the Heisman hopeful Kyle Trask picked Trey Norwood. Norwood then adds insult to injury and takes it 45 yards for the touchdown. Trask's 4th pick of the season. Most in FBS. Oklahoma up 14-0. Yes, Florida was playing without its top 3 receivers. They were playing without their tight end in Kyle Pitts. They were missing a lot of their offensive weapons, and you watch Trask throw another pick, this one by Brian Asamoah, and you wonder if that was part of it. 17-0. Next, Florida possession. Trask. This is not a replay. It just happened again. Britney Spears. Woody Washington this time in the end zone. And he missed the wide open receiver for the potential touchdown. So he threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter, season high, and then done. Second quarter, Trask now on the sidelines. Bring in Emory Jones. 2nd and goal from the 1. Let's get Florida some points. Jones lunging for the end zone. He was 8 of 16 passing with 86 yards, but he also led the team in rushing because he had 60 there. Rattler now adding on for Oklahoma. Make it 24-13. The short pass to Theo Weiss turns it upfield. End zone 36 yards later. That's a touchdown. 684 yards of total offense for the Sooners. They led 31-13 at the half, and they just added on. Oh, my God. Ramondre Stevenson, like fighting his way through all of Florida. 186 yards on the ground for him. That is a touchdown. Most points scored in a bowl game for Oklahoma. They scored 55 of them. Florida only managed to score 20. It's the first bowl win for Lincoln Riley. So Florida allowed more than 600 yards of offense to Alabama in the SEC title game, and then they gave up 684 to the Sooners. That is the most Florida has ever allowed in the history of their program. It's also the 3rd time this season that the Gators allowed north of 600 to the other team.
I just want to win to get in the playoffs. We still fighting.
Everything you got, one play at a time.
This is crunch time, and we got to go out there and perform.
Let's go, finish it! Finish it!
Backs against the wall, we have to win to get in.
You just got to get a chance. Once you make it to the playoffs, that's when you have your opportunity to make a run.
This is what we're capable of. Nothing less is going to be acceptable.
We got to keep going. Let's go!
If you gave up 5-6 weeks ago, we don't even want you on our side.
Nobody thought we was going to be where we are right now. We just going to keep going, man. Just keep going.
Saw a lot of it there. Some playoff hopefuls here. It's time now for Adam Schefter with the very latest. And Adam, a couple of playoff aspirations here, riding on the health of starting quarterbacks heading in to Week 17, Washington and Arizona specifically. Let's start with Washington. How is that organization handling their quarterback situation heading into a must-win against Philly?
Well, good morning and Happy New Year's, Randy. And here's the way that Washington is handling its quarterback situation. At practice on Wednesday, Taylor Heineke took all the reps with the first-team offense. Now, the Washington football team doesn't believe that Alex Smith has to be out there during practice. It's more important probably to get Heineke ready with that team and that offense than it is Alex Smith. They think that Alex Smith still is tracking to be able to play on Sunday night in a game Washington has to have for the NFC East title. We'll see if he can get out there. And Kyler Murray, who has been battling a lower leg injury that he suffered on the final play of the game against the 49ers, proclaimed himself ready to play Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams in a game that the Cardinals have to win to get into the playoffs. He was a full participant in practice on Wednesday, Murray.